Hey everyone, this is Pavlina from Pavlina's Kids Plays. I'm on location at the AMWAY Arena and I'm here with Jack Johnson. Hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm a little sleepy because we're at the end of the tour, but I'm feeling pretty good.
Yes, I don't know. Ever since school started, I'm getting really tired too. I watched your interview when you talked about when you were growing up in Hawaii and playing the ukulele. When I think of Hawaii and ukulele playing, I think of Brother Iz. Was Iz a big influence with your music while growing up?
Yeah, he definitely was somebody who I heard when I was a little older and that influenced me. But I heard a lot of other people when I was younger, a lot of my dad's friends and things like that would live next door. And in elementary school, we were lucky. That was the first instrument we get introduced to, was the ukulele. And it's nice, your pronunciation of it is perfect. And yeah, so it was one of those things. I had one in my hands before I can even remember playing it. But yeah, Brother Iz was definitely somebody we heard growing up.
Yes, okay. Yeah, thank you for the pronunciation. I had to practice that one. When you started playing the guitar, did you think did you want that as a career? I mean, were you pretty focused while growing up?
You know, I wasn't really. I kind of learned to play guitar just so that the family could do sing-alongs with Beatles songs and James Taylor and Cat Stevens, stuff like that. And then I went to college and I kind of always kept it as a hobby. And then I started making surf movies, and again it was still just a hobby, and I started putting it in the background of the surf movies, and that kind of led to me getting a chance to record the songs because people started liking the soundtracks to the surf films. And but when I was a kid, I never really thought it was something I would do for a living. I feel lucky now.
I love surfing, but I can't because I had a junior lifeguard camp at the YMCA.
Oh, neat.
And we went surfing because we were doing beach patrol and stuff. And we this one kid, he knew how to surf, so he taught us how to surf and stuff.
That's so cool.
And ever since then, I've loved to surf. But then my mom doesn't let me because I do ballet. So she's like, "Well, what happened if you break your leg?" So.
Yeah, it's kind of like dancing, surfing.
Yes.
There's a lot of rhythm and movement that's similar. I like surfing too.
I love surfing. One of my Facebook friends, Taylor Sheridan, wanted to ask, because we all know you're an awesome surfer, what's your favorite place to surf?
Well, when I was growing up, when I was really little, I liked a spot called Ehukai Beach Park, and the waves are kind of smaller there and fun. And then when I got to be a teenager and in my 20s, I liked surfing a spot called Pipeline. It's probably one of the most challenging waves in the world. And so that was when I was surfing every day and a lot of hours every day and really practicing. Nowadays I have 3 kids, and so I don't surf Pipeline as much anymore because you have to really stay up with it. And now I like surfing a spot called Pupukea a lot. It's a funny name, Pupukea. And yes, that's the spot I surf a lot now.
Okay, what is the
Pipeline?
Yes.
Pipeline, they call it that because it was, well, there's 2 stories. One, some people say they were actually putting in kind of like a water line right out in front of there when the first time the surfers ever surfed it, so they called it Pipeline because that's what was happening. But it's really because the wave is, when it breaks, it's kind of like a tube, almost like a pipe that you'd see that would bring water.
Oh, yeah, okay, I've seen that.
And you can travel inside of the tube when you're riding the wave.
Okay, that's cool. The environment is very important to you, and you donate 100% of your tour profits to support the environment, art, and music education. How did you decide you wanted to do this? I mean, did you start off the 2008 tour and the Sea World Tour and said, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, I decided before I did the 2008 tour that when we went out, I wanted to find a way that I could be promoting the new CD that we'd put out, but also trying to give back to a bunch of these nonprofit groups that I'd met along the way in our 2005 tour. And I just thought they're doing really good things, and I know that music's a really good way to bring people together and to raise funds for things you believe in. And so environmental education is definitely a big one for me, and music and art education as well. Things I feel like have given me so much in my life, the chance to learn how to play music and to get into art, and then also just I think now that I have kids, especially making sure that this is a planet that's going to be healthy and a happy place for them to grow up is important for me.
Yes, okay, good. Your Sea World Tour, it just started 2 months ago, but what have the people learned from you?
Well, some of the venues we play at, we ask them to try different things and different ways of putting on a show. Sometimes trying to source their energy that they're using for the show from renewable sources like wind or solar power. And some of the venues, after we leave, they find out from that first show that we do together that it's something that's worthwhile for them to do, and so they continue to do it at their venue. So that makes us feel happy, is that some of the places we play are actually changing the way they do business. And then also, a lot of the fans, when they come to the shows, we have refillable water bottle stations so that you don't have to buy water bottles, but instead you can bring your own container and make less single-use plastic. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's one of those things, when people come, they realize that that's a nice way to do things, and they take that back home with them, and hopefully will apply it to their own life.
Okay, good. I talked to Montes Yahoo, and he's thinking about doing a kids album. I know you did a sing-along and lullabies for the film Curious George. Any other plans for kids songs?
Not yet, but I have 3 kids, so I'm always writing little songs, whether it's about why we have to brush our teeth, mm-hmm. or taking showers or baths and stuff like that. So I'm sure someday I'll have all these songs around and I'll record another kids album, but there's no plans to do one right now.
Okay, cool. Did you have any obstacles, and how did you overcome them?
Well, I hit my face really bad one time surfing, and these are fake teeth in the front, and I got about 150 stitches in my forehead and my lip. And for a little while, I was 17 when that happened, and I was a little bit worried the few months I had to sit out of the water, whether I was going to be able to go out and surf the same way I did before, just because of the fear from the accident. Mm-hmm. And I just learned to slowly push myself in a comfortable way back into the same place that I was before I had the accident. But that was definitely one of those times where I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do the thing I loved at the same level. And I think just by persevering and continuing to try as best I could, I got back to the place where I was before.
Okay, yeah. I'm always scared that, because I'm on point also, and if you twist your ankle on that, it's
really
it's horrible. Yeah. And sometimes you can't even go back to doing it because it'll ruin the tendons mm-hmm. or something like that. So
yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yes.
Good to stretch before you do your routine.
Mm-hmm. I love your song Upside Down from the Curious George movie, and it's definitely one of my favorite music videos. And You and Your Heart is an awesome song too. Do you have a favorite song?
I have one called Better Together that I like a lot, because I think partly I've had so many people tell me stories about when they've used the song in their lives. So a lot of people have used it on their wedding day for their first dance, or bringing their kid home to their house for the first time, played it in the car, just different stories like that I've heard. And so I think because I've heard these stories and it seems like that song means more in other people's lives, it makes me like the song even more.
Okay, I'll have to listen to that one. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's called Better Together.
Okay, yes, because I've listened to the other ones a million times
cool.
each.
Thanks.
So, do you have any plans for the future?
Yeah, I always try to not plan too far ahead, but in about a week I get to go home to Hawaii, and I just plan on staying there for about a month, and then I'm going to tour again in October. And I'll probably take a year off from touring after that, because I can't write too much while I'm on tour, because I have all these people watching, and I like to write when I'm not thinking about performing. Mm-hmm. Instead, just writing the song because it's something I want to do, but not something that I'll have to go out and play the song in front of people someday. Sometimes it makes it hard for me to write when I think about that. So I'll probably take a year off from touring and try to write new songs.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you so much for having me on.